Welcome into the Jamie Chadwell Show. Charleston Southern now 3-2. They host Albany State this Thursday, and they'll do so after a dramatic victory over Coastal Carolina, 59-58 in double overtime. And you got to think that's one of the crazier games you've ever been a part of.
It was back and forth. Obviously, a fair there. I think two really good teams going back, just going after each other and leaving everything on the field. Unfortunately, we were able to make one more play there at the end on the extra point block of Solomon, but. Just, I don't know how, as fans, but I was exhausted after the game as a coach. I know our players had to be. It was mentally draining, just of all the momentum shifts in the game, and just to be a part of it was pretty awesome. I'm glad we came out on top.
Is that one of those when you guys go back and watch it as a staff on Sunday, you're kind of reliving how crazy it was?
Yeah, you start going, man, because there's so many plays that happened that were big plays. You almost, how did we get to this situation? How did this point happen? And when you watch, you go, okay, I remember. And so there was tons of big plays made that were huge, that allowed some of those other big plays to be made, that maybe go unnoticed. And so it wasn't obviously pretty. There was a lot of things that on both sides of the ball, special teams wise, that we really need to clean up, but can never fault the effort and the way our guys got after it out there.
The rivalry that it's been, and obviously not a big South game anymore, but a big win for your team, maybe big win going forward depending on what happens the rest of the way. But just as far as the rivalry goes, how much did it mean to your team to get that win?
I think it was very important. Our guys wanted that. They knew that it didn't mean nothing conference-wise, but it was a bragging right thing. And we wanted to make sure that it wasn't a fluke that we had beat them before, or it was just a one-time thing. We hadn't won there in a long time, and this team wanted to end that streak because they knew this might be the last time we play up there for a long time. And if we do, they're obviously going to have a little bit more bullets than we will. And so it was big, and our guys put a lot into it, our preparation, and wanted to make sure that we could hopefully go up there and get a win. And we were fortunate too, but it was big as the game last year when they were number one and we're playing for the conference title. Was the same type of, I think, of atmosphere and environment, and the same type of importance on the football game. And it'll be missed because I think it's good for our schools because we're close to each other. I think it's great for our fan bases. And then it's really good for low country football as well.
It was Charleston Southern's second ever win in Conway, third over Coastal in the last 4 years as we roll into some first half highlights. And maybe you thought going in the last few years it's been an offensive game. Maybe you thought a little more defense in this one. That didn't prove to be the case.
No, I think that's what we thought it was going to be. Maybe a low-scoring affair. Both defenses pretty good. Offenses getting new quarterbacks. It obviously didn't happen that way.
New quarterback for Coastal, Tyler Keene, but the same running back, D'Angelo Henderson. He had a big day. He started this drive with several big runs. They go right down the field, 10 plays, 75 yards, and kind of ease their quarterback into it, probably to their liking.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player, and our plan was to try to control him as much as we could, and he was just so quick and fast. When he got out, he made such huge plays, and they did a good job up front on the offensive line. I think they did a nice job with the schemes to put the quarterback in some good situations, and you can just see here, just guys, we feel like we have him wrapped up and he makes a play, and so. All the accolades that he's getting and all the touchdowns, everything is well deserved for him.
31 straight games now with a touchdown for D'Angelo Henderson, his first of 4 on the day, finishes off this opening drive, give Coastal the lead. You guys get backed up on your first series, Shane Busnell making his second career start. He gets sacked in an opening series that certainly didn't go your way.
No, we had, we had a play there we wanted to start out with. We thought we had a chance of getting a big play, didn't get it, and then get sacked and mess up some blocking schemes here, put ourselves in a third down and are not able to get it. And then we, on our punt team here, just the snaps a little bit left, but our punter's got to get it up and pick it out and kick it out of there, and he doesn't do it, drop it. They get the ball basically there on the 1 yard line and score, I think, within a play or two. And so right there, the worst start you could possibly have, you're down 14, you're fired up, you're ready to go, you build up for it, now you're down 14-0 with about 4 minutes into the game.
Bucks down 14-0. They do come back here with a drive. Chris Jenkins fields this kick and almost broke it out.
Yeah, had a nice chance here. We think he saw the line there and saw the touchdown. He didn't want to run that far, so he just decided to fall down. And so, but it was great, good momentum. Every time that we've been behind the 8 ball, we've got some type of game, whether it's a punt or a kick return, to give us some momentum, and that gave us nice momentum, and we go to put a drive here together.
Mike Holloway came into this game nearing the CSU career rushing yards record he's able to get. Runs close to a first down here. You get in a 4th and 2. You call timeout right before this play, and what you dialed up worked.
Yeah, we thought it was a big moment in the game. You know, we're down 14. We needed to score, or we at least needed to continue the drive. And coaches got us in a good play there, and we get great blocking on the perimeter. And Mike shows his speed. And that was a good answer for us. We needed to come back and get an answer, in which we were able to.
42-yard Mike Holloway touchdown, first of 5 4th down conversions in a game where CSU held the ball for almost 43 minutes in regulation, but Coastal really had it rolling offensively early. This was a tough penalty that gave them a first down on 3rd and long.
Yeah, we thought it was a questionable call. Thought we had them off the field, and they get that play, and then I think the very next play, you know, he breaks out on us right there, and we can't catch him.
D'Angelo Henderson from 36 yards out, one of several big runs on the day, but you guys came right back, and really after that initial opening 3 and out, the turnover in the second half, outside of that, you moved the ball up and down the field all day.
Yeah, I thought we had, had a good plan, but there were some times there when we did mess up some things, but this was a good answer. They're up 21-7. We have a chance to come back. Shane makes some nice plays and running the ball, and made a nice throw there to Cam Brown and get ourselves back down here in the red zone. And to put ourselves in a situation to hopefully score again, because we needed to match them right now until our defense figured out some things that they needed to do.
Darius Hammond had a good day as well, several big runs, especially in the second half. Busnell hands to him a few times here to get you closer, and eventually is going to find Colton Korn on this 4th and 1. What did you guys see that made you decide to go to the air there?
Well, we thought that we've been running some of that belly play, and we thought that if we showed it one way, we'd get enough pull. We knew we had a chance at throwing a hard post backside, and we got it in there barely, but we got it in there, and it worked out, and it gave us a chance to get a touchdown. It was a nice play.
Keep the momentum going. First play of the next series, DJ Curl gets the interception, and the second quarter, it seemed like your defense was playing more like you're used to seeing from your defense.
Yeah, we settled down, I think, there, and started playing the way we're capable of, and really shut them down there in the second half and put ourselves in a good position. So we take the turnover here, and we're able to drive. If we get a better throw right there, we actually probably have a chance of getting a big play, but we're able to convert on a 3rd down and get down here inside the red zone again. And this was right outside the red zone, and this was the one drive where we had a chance to, we thought, put some points on the board. We had to settle for a field goal, which was disappointing because we thought we had a chance at some bigger plays.
Had a shot near the goal line there for Sire Davis. Here's Keelan Fraze on his 2nd and long. You have to settle for a field goal, and Tyler Teacock, to his credit, does keep the momentum going, splits the uprights from 37.
Yeah, it was big. You know, you do get the turnover, we get a shorter field, so we want to make sure we get some points, so we're able to drive down there. He knocks it right down the middle, which was nice. And so now you're down 21-17. After being down 2 touchdowns, you've got it back down to 4, so you feel like you put yourself right back in the football game.
Coastal had scored touchdowns their first 3 possessions of the first half, but you get a 3 and out here as Corbin Jackson comes up with a big stop.
Yeah, this was a nice play. Well, he fits it really well. We do a nice job of on their schemes of our defense, and we put ourselves in a nice position there to make a play and get them off the field.
This is a really impressive drive here. Shane makes a couple of really nice plays this upcoming after the penalty. You get back up 3rd and long, he makes a couple of guys miss and steps up and finds an open receiver.
Yeah, I thought we put ourselves, our penalties all day were bad. We had 8 on offense and put ourselves in some bad situations, but I thought Shane handled the pocket really well and threw the ball with some authority, had some confidence, and really played well and put ourselves in a position to make some good plays. And we ate the clock here a little bit too. I mean, we're back here, we're backed up, we're on a 2nd down and I think a short, and put ourselves in a 3rd and long right here. I think this is like 3rd and 10 or 11. And he makes a really nice throw here to Cam across the middle for another 1st down.
Another 4th down conversion. You saw him hit Cameron Brown earlier in that drive. You guys end up getting in the end zone to go up into halftime as he finds Trevay Hatton for the touchdown. And just a really nice end to your first half offensively.
Yeah, it was big. We wanted to obviously end it with a touchdown, and be able to take the clock down as well was nice. So really, we had a lot of confidence going in the locker room that, hey, we survived the start. Defense had settled down. We felt like we're in a good position here now. We can go in and sort of regroup, make sure, fix the things we need to fix, and we thought we was in a heck of a position being up. I think we missed the extra point there, being up 2 points, but after being down 14, you're feeling pretty confident thinking we didn't play our best early, but now we got it going, and we felt like they had came out swinging and didn't knock us out. So we were pretty pumped at the halftime as far as, hey, what's coming forward.
Bucks up 23-21 at halftime. There was a lot of football left to be played, 30 minutes of the second half, a couple of overtimes as well. And we'll look at that after this on the Jamie Chadwell Show. Welcome back on the Jamie Chadwell Show as we look at some second half highlights from the Bucks' 59-58 double overtime win over Coastal Carolina this past Saturday. And you had the momentum going into halftime. Early in the second half, they were able to take it back.
Yeah, we didn't come out of the locker room with the same type of intensity. I thought we had a great first play. We get into a good situation on second down and have a missed assignment, and then they flush us out of the pocket here and force us to punt. So it was really disappointing in that. And then they're able to get the ball. And I think our defense does a job here. I think we stop them on this drive, if I'm not mistaken. And then they punt it back, and then that's when the circus music started.
DJ Curl with the pass breakup there. They had good field position, like you said. Your defense does get a stop, and going back to that second quarter, it seemed to settle in a little bit as they're able to force an incompletion here on a third down the line. You guys get backed up, and unfortunately, they make a play.
They do. I think we had the ball at the 5-yard line, and had a couple chances of making to get out of it, and then on third down they bring a blitz, and our quarterback misses it, and they're able to recover. Shane gets hurt or cramps during that time, so we have to bring in Robert Mitchell here, and he's sort of feeling his way through, but to his credit, he was able to make some plays, and unconventionally, he was able to make some plays, and the thing, I think he was in for 4 or 5 drives, and I think he scored 3 touchdowns out of his drives and only 1 punt. Did a nice job scrambling. Like, this is a big 4th down play. We decided to go for it, and he does a nice job in the pocket here, stepping up and putting a nice throw to Mike, and Mike gets us the first down.
Nice job by Hollow to get those few extra yards he needed for the first down. Then he hands it for Darius Hammond, and he breaks it up the middle for a touchdown. It's just a huge luxury for your quarterbacks to be able to hand the ball to those two.
Yeah, it's something that you don't take for granted. We were talking about it, that their defensive coordinator mentioned that he didn't realize how good they were. I think he didn't give them as much credit, and they're good football players, and that was a heck of a run there. So now we were able to give that turnover and give them an easy touchdown. We're able to answer it and put us back to where we need to be.
There were 8 lead changes in the second half alone, second half in overtime. D'Angelo Henderson gives you another one here, and several times where it looked like that, like you had him bottled up, and he just finds a way to get out.
He did. We felt like we had him surrounded a few times, and then once he got out, his speed and his quickness, and they did a good job blocking for him.
You guys come back. This was not a good series. Robert on the first play can't handle the handoff exchange there. You back up, and you end up giving them the football back here.
Yeah, which was disappointing. We go 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15. Robert scrambles down and gives us a chance to be 3rd and 1, but we get a holding penalty, which is disappointing. And then so we're backed up and we're just trying to get out of here. We give up probably a sack there, but Robert does a great job of making a play. So that was all on us. We felt like nothing they did. And so now they're up 35-30, and we had to punt. It's a short field, so we thought this was a huge drive right here. This was a big drive that they got the first down. They're at inside the 30-yard line right here, right at the 30-yard line. And if they score here a touchdown, we're way behind.
As tough a night as it was for your defense, we're going to see the play coming up here. This really was a huge play. Anthony Ellis gets the pressure, knocks the ball out from behind, and you guys recover. Like you said, you go down 12 there with the way it was back and forth. You might not have been able to make that up.
Right, and that was a huge play. I think that was probably the biggest play of the game. Because they had a guy open for a touchdown, and Anthony's able to get that out of there before he could throw it. And so now we go back to work trying to do some things with Rob, and we finally get him to pitch the ball there for a first down. It's on a 3rd and short, which was big, trying to move the clock. And we were trying to let him feel his way through a little bit until he got comfortable with some of the throwing things and some of that. So we mixed in some runs and did some different things. And right here, it was a huge play. It's 3rd down. We'd made our mind up. We were going to go for it on 4th down regardless, trying to get close. And he's able to get us down there close, and Darius makes an unbelievable run on 4th down, short to get us a first down.
You were talking about that yesterday with Darius. There's not many other guys who are going to make that first guy miss.
No, he's so good at just seeing that first cut, and that was a huge play in the game. And then Robert right here on a 3rd down again just does a spin move and best pitch all night right there to the official. And I mean, huge right there. You know, now we take the lead back when it looked bleak. We take the lead back, and now we decide to go for two. And Mike does a nice job of running in there for the 2-point conversion.
It was a 14-play touchdown drive. You had another drive that took up almost 7.5 minutes later in the fourth. Coastal, they go quick strike. Gary Bradshaw, this was his first touch of the night, and man, he can run too.
Yeah, they've got some guys that got some skill. There's them transitioning their location, some of the things they got. They've got some guys that can run a little bit, and so that's why we have to do a great job. Disappointing right here. They throw one up for grabs right here, and we did a bad job of playing the football on a halfback pass. We got two guys back there to really pick it off, and so I think we had that ball. They scored with less than a minute, maybe a minute and 5 seconds or something. So now we're right back out there. Good thing about them scoring fast is their defense was dead, and so we were able to take this drive here. This is another third down, and just continue to drive the ball and take clock and go back and try to score. That was the goal. We told ourselves we're going to run the clock out and we're going to score and we'll win the game in the end.
Charleston Southern held the ball for over 13 minutes in this fourth quarter, almost 43 minutes in the game. You guys ran 89 plays, and really with Robert in there, just kept grinding it out. Doesn't make a nice throw there to Jared Scotland.
Yeah, that was a nice ball, threw it right in the window. Jared, nice catch right there. And had a chance here we thought at a touchdown. We'd get a holding penalty right here, or the play before. We had a chance at a touchdown, and Robert does a nice job of scrambling out here. Have a play called, he doesn't force it. And then I knew it was over there, and they all, from the wide shot there, they turned it down. They didn't want any piece of him with him running in through there. And that was a huge scramble right there to get the touchdown and give us the lead, with 40-something seconds left.
Mitchell with 69 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, all of it in the second half. Coastal's only got 42 seconds on the clock. Really haven't pushed the ball down the field passing, but they're able to hit a few plays underneath to get in position.
Well, they hit some underneath, and then the bad thing was we missed some tackles, so we never were able to get them in a situation where they had to use any of their timeouts. So like right here, if we make the tackle right there, they have to at least use a timeout. He breaks it down. They get inside the 20-yard line. They got a couple shots here at the end zone, and fortunately they weren't able to get in there, so they knock it in, and you're going into overtime.
Go to overtime for the second time in 6 games this season. Like you said, you probably thought you had it won there with about 42 seconds left in regulation. Then Coastal gets the football first, and they score quickly. You have to say anything at that point on the sideline, or just?
No, part of it. You've been in overtime before, and they scored in overtime. North Dakota State, and you're like, we didn't answer. So our mindset is, hey, we're going to answer this. We've been here before. We didn't do our job. Because the defense's job is to stop them. Our job is to score. And if the defense doesn't stop them, then we have to score. And so we didn't do that at North Dakota State. So we got to put ourselves in a situation. So we gave up an easy touchdown there. Did a bad job with their discipline there at corner. And so they got an easy drive. And so I put Shane back in because I felt like we might have to throw the ball a little bit in overtime. And he throws a nice ball right here to Colton back shoulder. And we're able to answer them within 2 plays there, which was big.
24-yard touchdown pass to Colton Cornyn. I think really you found out, you might have already known it, but both Mitchell and Busnell certainly have some mettle to them, both of them coming in tough spots in different situations.
They do. I think they have confidence in what they're doing and their ability and able to not let the moment be too big. And Shane, coming back and putting himself in a situation to make some plays. And right here makes a nice throw. We get a great pickup on the blitz. And Jared Scotland, this wasn't an easy catch. I mean, he goes over the guy, and that was an unbelievable catch there to make, to give us the lead there in overtime.
15-yard touchdown pass to Jared Scotland. Bucks tack on the extra point, make it 59-52, and your defense starts this series well. Back-to-back sacks for Anthony Ellis and Solomon Brown. You think maybe you got them in a spot where you can finish the game off?
Well, we thought so. They're back there. I think they're 3rd and long, and so you knew they were going to do a 2, try to get half of it back, and thought we had a chance of right here of really getting that one out, but do a good job. It's 3rd and 6 here. And put them in a 3rd and 6 or 4th and 6 where we feel like we have a shot. But the quarterback makes a nice throw. I think we made it a little easy there on them. Our corner made it a little easy. And then once they make that, they're able to throw a nice little play and get it right down there inside the goal line.
Devin Brown with the 4th down conversion continues the drive. Here Kenneth Daniels takes it in for a touchdown. It's 59-58, so they just need the extra point to put it to a 3rd overtime. You are watching at this point when the extra point's going?
Yeah, you're planning. You're starting saying, "Hey, we got to go for 2." You know, now everybody's got to go for 2, and then you look out there and you're like, hey, block it, because we've had some success blocking in the past, not this year, but in the past. But this was just unbelievable how high Solomon was, and I mean, if you think about it, if you look at it, Solomon's really not looking at the ball. You know, his hands goes up, it looks like his head's turned, and just for it to hit it there, and you can see pandemonium, and that's one of those that you're glad you're not on the other end, because you know everybody laid it out there for them, and it was a relief, you know, like it was finally over, you know, because the way it was going to go back and forth all night long. And so great play there, because all it takes is one play. That's what we tried to tell our defense, just one play, you know, just one play. Now's their time, and they made the one play.
59-58 Charleston Southern. That's 3 wins in 4 years over Coastal Carolina. We'll talk more about that block on the Jamie Chadwell Show.
Granger to attempt. He had the 37-yard field goal to force overtime in the first place. It's blocked. It's blocked, and Charleston Southern wins it. The PAT is blocked, and in a wild football game, Charleston Southern gets the win. A blocked PAT ends it. Charleston Southern 59, Coastal Carolina 58 in overtime.
Obviously, this is a huge game and huge opportunities like that. I sometimes jump. It's like a 50-50 call for me. And I told Zane Cruz, I was like, I got this one. Let me line up in the middle. And I just jumped all with all I got, and I saw the ball coming, and it hit my right hand, and I just went crazy, as you saw.
No, I was watching because I was like, you know, this is no lie. People are going to think I'm crazy, but I was like, you know, the Liberty blocked one on them. I thought about it on the field goal they kicked. I said, Liberty blocked one of these on them. And then I was like, well, maybe we'll get in. We were pretty good at rushing it. I thought maybe we'll get it. You know, so I was watching. I was like, please, Lord, do something. And he gave Solomon some extra verts right there.
Solomon Brown's block PAT, certainly one of the more memorable plays in Charleston Southern football history. And you heard it from him. He said, he told Zane Cruz beforehand, I got this. He doesn't normally do that?
No, normally, you know, you have certain blocks, you bring it from the right or the left, you know, usually the kick side. You don't have a typical one. You have some guys that rush up middle, but not a lot of jump guys. And Solomon's in a different position, and he said, hey, I'm gonna do it, like he said, you know. And I should have told him to do it in the first overtime so we didn't have to go that long. But that was just a great play by him. And I think just another example of the no quit. They could have not had the best game defensively, didn't have the best game overall, and gave up a touchdown there for them to have a chance to tie it. And you know, they didn't have to rush. You know, but you saw Johnny Robinson fight through there. You saw Anthony. You saw Solomon giving up. You saw Seth Harrelson jumping to try to make a block. And I think that just shows the type of character those guys have. And we talked about that. You know, this game was a revenge game for Coastal, and we talked about that the character-wise is what's going to show up for us. That if we'll display character during these times, you know, good things can happen. And you never know when that's going to be displayed, but just to never quit. And I think that's a great part of what those young men are about.
Certainly never gets old to win, but to win like that and to get a satisfying win like that, especially with some of the stuff you guys have had to go through, had to be pretty special.
It was. I think anytime you can beat them, it's a big deal. Anytime, no matter what's going on, it's a big deal. But the way it happened, the way our games have been the last few years, I think the intensity of the rivalry picking up, some of the things that were said before the game, pretty gratifying and pretty satisfying to walk out of there at Conway and these guys, knowing what they have, what they perceive they have, most of our guys, let's be honest, most of our guys probably would have wanted to go to Coastal Carolina if Coastal thought they were good enough, and so to be able to prove that hey, they are good enough, I think that's part of it as well.
Moglia still got his chairman of the board, TD Ameritrade, to fall back on too, so that's nice for him.
I'm hoping, Joe, if you're watching, I'm hoping that since we're not in the conference anymore, that you could, donate to the Buccaneer football team. That'd be nice. We've got some things that we need to take care of over here.
That would be pretty nice for him. You could convince him maybe.
Yeah, I think
Work him
so.
over.